It's a shame because there's plenty of supercars, there's plenty of people that can afford it, but you feel that they don't have that kind of background that we have in Europe. So my name is Paolo. I'm 48 years old. I'm living in Dubai since 2018, so almost 2 years. My background is basically into the automotive industries. In my career, I've done the racing driver since 1991 until 2 years ago. I was racing like 170, 180 races all around the world. I was almost European champion in 2012, and in an FIA championship. It was the FIA European Touring Car Championship. Then I was racing the 24 hours of Nurburgring, 24 hours of Dubai, and I had the chance to drive Ferrari, Maserati, Lamborghini, a lot of GT cars, then prototype, a lot of stuff. I was missing basically the karting experience because it took too much to convince my father to spend money, and I was definitely too tall. In 1999, I started working as a journalist. I was working for Eurosport, which is one of the most important pan-European satellite channel, commenting NASCAR, Indy 500, a lot of series. Then 5 years later, I started working in the most important motor channel in Italy, which was based in the Sky platform. At the beginning, I was a consultant for them. I was doing car reviews, going to the auto show, commenting races. Then in 2005, I became the editor of the channel, one of the youngest in the Sky platform. And then I've been there for 3 years. It was definitely a super good experience. And then in 2009, I decided to open my own media company, which is still running, shared with my wife. And so we have 11 years of history, which is based in Italy. In 1996, I started becoming a driving coach, but not for the normal driving license. I mean, like sporting and racing coach. At that time, I was working for the most important motor magazine. They had a safety driving school, and I was coaching for them. I was 23 at that time. And then in 2002, I moved to another school, which is dealing with Ferrari, Maserati, Alfa Romeo, and Abarth. So since then, which is 18 years, pretty much, until now, I'm working as an official instructor for Ferrari, Maserati, Abarth, and Alfa Romeo. So I'm traveling a lot. So I was coming pretty often over the GCC area in general, so Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi, Qatar, UAE, for Ferrari. I was pretty fascinating about the place, and I came sometimes for vacation with the family just to try to introduce them in this kind of new environment. Anyway, I was thinking to leave Italy for different reasons, and then I decided, okay, why not? We should do this experience. So I was waiting the end of the primary school for my daughter, which was already in the international school, and then I said, okay, let's move on. You will start the secondary over here, and that's what I am. Drove everything about Ferrari, starting from the 355, that period, 355, 550, Maranello, 456, until the new one. And basically, I'm coming from a family which was strictly related with this automotive industry, because my grandfather had a motorbike dealership. So my father was already engaged. So my first car was a Citroen, of course, because it was for free, because we had in the family. And at that time, I was changing pretty often the car because they were the company cars. So we were, making kind of turnaround every 4 or 5 months, selling, buying, selling, buying. And then when I opened my media company, we were doing the car reviews. So at that time, again, the factories were giving me the car to get reviewed. So since 2012 until 2018, before coming here, I was changing like 20, 25, 30 cars per year. Every 15 days, new car. All of them, from the Fiat Panda up to the Porsche 911. So I had the chance for my job to drive hundreds of different cars, which is good, because if you are petrolhead, you are definitely engaged in every kind of. It's good because most of the time you understand that something that should appear in some way from the outside is not exactly the same when you are inside. So I've discovered a car that I was not even think to buy that would be interesting to buy, and something that at that time was in my favorite, mood, but later on I said, okay, it's not that good. So it was an experience, professionally and personally, and so my story with the cars is pretty big. Personal daily base need was definitely different, because I wanted to have a very comfortable car just for cruising, to not thinking too much, because I have the chance to drive not on a daily basis but super often super cars. So I don't need the supercars because I have already experienced since 20 years. So my need is exactly the same. It's like when you are living in a seaside. Most of the people, they want to go on vacation on the seaside, but you are still living there. So you want to go to the mountain, because it's not a story. It's basically the same. So at the moment, I am pretty lazy driver. I mean, the car is something that should be interesting for me, but it's something that I need to move from A to B. And it should be definitely super comfortable. I don't need top speed. I don't need super HP. I just need something that should have a good looking, but mainly to be very comfortable. If I want to experience, if I want to have some, positive feedbacks, I have Ferraris most of the time. So racing is super expensive, and when you start from the beginning, I was not poor, but I was not super wealthy. So I had to put a lot of effort to start racing and try to build up my career. When you reach a kind of level, which exactly the one I got, all the efforts you put on. So I want to consider myself lucky for being able to get this kind of job strictly related with my passion. But I know that was not just lucky, because I had to work a lot, I had to sacrifice a lot, and I had to build up my targets, my passion, and in some cases some frustrating moments, just because I was focused to get that specific point. So I'm lucky, but I was not gambling. It was not a lottery that I was just lucky to put 5 instead of 10. I had to do a lot of things to build up the thing. So I'm lucky for sure, but it was not just a matter of lucky. When I came in, of course, the first events I was involved were something related to Ferrari, like test drives or events on track, or kind of driving course, let's say, because again, it's my job and I came here mainly for this. In the meantime, I had the chance to visit the Dubai Auto Show, to get in touch with some supercars, car clubs, and so I had different kind of experience. The only thing I've seen that is totally different compared to Europe is the motorsport mentality. Basically, there is no that kind of culture over here. It's a shame because it's plenty of supercars, it's plenty of people that can afford it, but you feel that they don't have that kind of background that we have in Europe. It's not your fault, it's not our fault, it's just because we had in the history a lot of heritage about this, which is not here. So on this, I feeling this kind of lack of, maybe let's say passion, but passion especially for racing, not for cars. So it's plenty of petrolhead people, but in terms of racing, there is no so much people really passionate as in Europe. Most of them are, or especially in Italy, especially in some specific place in Italy. Motorbike cars is plenty of.